My name is Joshua Taylor. I'm an artist from Southside Chicago. My primary medium right now is photography, and I've been doing photography for about 10 years now. I love photography because it's a way for me to get to know people, tell stories, and it's a way to kind of, use my imagination to create the world that I want to see and go more into the world and just how I see it. When I first started doing photography, I got into it because I would see a lot of imagery for people that look like me and people that represented my neighborhood, but it wasn't always painted in the best light. And I remember when I would, go out to school and I would see the news and I would see a lot of stories, but it was not a lot of like success stories about, people that look like me, and I wanted to tell a different story. And so what I love about photography is that it gives you the opportunity to create your own narrative and tell the stories that really mean the most to you. But it also gives a way to kind of be creative and take those stories and translate them in different ways, whether it's like black and white or playing with the tones of color, or you decide you want to dive into like film and dive into like that practice of work. And I also like it because it's giving me an opportunity to expose my peers and families and other folks to the creative space and the creative industry, and showing them there's other outlets and ways to express yourself, but also even to make a living. I never thought that I would be in a position where I could say that, hey, I'm a full-time photographer, full-time creative, and to be able to see the how being able to use my gift to create and shape the world around me and help, advance the lives of my friends and family, even people I don't know, from whether doing headshots to doing product photography, to being able to tell those stories in those types of ways. It's literally created a different avenue for me. I remember when I was in college and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I said I always wanted to own my own business, but I never knew that photography would be that business. So I was figuring out what major I wanted to major in, and I got introduced to advertising, and that lit up a bulb for me. I realized that I love marketing. I realized that everything that we love in our world, there's a storytelling behind it. There's someone behind it kind of creating that narrative to shape, what we buy and how we want to buy them, and being able to make, you can have two different things being the same, but it's how you tell that story to differentiate and make them different. And so I really loved that. And so that really sent me down the path of marketing. And then I was able to merge photography into that. And what came out of that, me pursuing a career to be a photographer. And ever since then, my life has been different. And I've been on this journey of, chasing the goal of being as creative as I can, but also using it as a tool to help others each step of the way. And I always explain to people it's a roller coaster, but it's a roller coaster I would never want to get off, and it's a way to express a gift I didn't know that I had. I remember my first instances of photography was just using my cell phone, and at that time I didn't think that I was doing photography. I would just go around downtown and just take pictures of the buildings and take pictures of the shadows and take pictures of plants, and all the whole time I didn't realize that I was a photographer until I put a camera in my hand, and then I was just kind of just snapping things and didn't have any idea what exposure was, what shutter speed was, what f-stop was, none of those different things. And I remember when I was in school, there was a guy that literally would see me renting a camera and say, "Hey, are you shooting in like manual?" I'm like, "No, I'm just shooting in auto and just shooting anything." He's like, "No, no, no, no. Let me explain to you like this exposure triangle." And at the time, it was very mad confusing, but um, for me, it piqued enough curiosity in me to figure it out, and it continued to set me down that road. And then what I love the most about photography, even in that moment, is that there could be challenging moments and there could be things you try to figure out, but it it challenges you and it humbles you in a way that you want to figure it out, and it adds a problem solving to what you're doing. And even the same when I'm approaching projects, there's always a good problem to solve, to figure out how can I tell the story this way, or when I'm trying to figure out being creative, how can I go within and think about memories that I want to recreate, or think about creative ideas and how can I bring those into the world. And so I love that photography has been the tool and the medium for me to be able to tell the story, not just of myself, but the other people I love and the other random creative ideas that I've had, to be able to bring those into the world and see those come out to light. And so they can be used on billboards, they can be used in magazine and print, or even for like exhibitions. And so that's been one even the most exciting things that I've been able to experience, having my work in like exhibition spaces and seeing how that people relate to those and how they, react to them, and um, yeah, just having the opportunity to be a creative.